If you happen to have some cassava at home, today I'm going to be showing you how to make cassava fries, which are very crunchy on top and the interior is just moist and delicious. This is how a cassava looks like, and this is for 200 Kenya shillings, that is $2. And you can see the exterior is very rough and the inside is white in color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the cassava in half. After cutting the cassava in half, this is how the cassava looks like, and you'll notice that the cassava has a very thick skin on the exterior. The interior is white and also a very fibrous core over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place one half aside, and then I'm going to chop a little on the other side. So there are two ways to peel your cassava. Here's one. I'll cut across on my cassava just like that, and then you're going to use your knife and penetrate in between the skin and the flesh. Once you get in between the flesh and the skin, you're going to use a knife and make carving movement which are going to expose or remove the skin from the flesh, just like I'm showing you. It is quite easy. Once you get used to it, this is very simple. That has been very easy, so that's one way you can peel cassava. So here is another way you can peel your cassava. You're going to place your cassava just like mine when it's facing upwards with the broad end on the chopping board, and then you're going to use a knife and peel your cassava just like I'm doing. You're going to have to peel the cassava 2 times, so I find that the first way of peeling cassava is much easier and very fast. So after peeling, I'm going to pick my cassava and cut in half. You have to use a very sharp knife, and then I'm going to cut in half just like that. You can see the fibrous core that I was talking about. So next I'm going to chop my cassava in another half, into quarters, that is. Pick the next one and repeat. So this is how it's looking after chopping. So at this point, I'm going to place my pot over medium heat and add water. So I'm going to place this aside and pick my next cassava. Cut in half. Finish up cutting the cassava and transfer to a bowl. So my cassava is clean because earlier on I had washed the exterior of my cassava, so it doesn't have any dirt. So if yours is a little bit messy, you're going to wash your cassava until clean. So the next step here is to transfer my cassava into my water. Make sure the cassava are fully covered with the water because you want the cassava to boil evenly. So I'm going to be boiling mine for around 20 to 30 minutes. Also, it depends on the cut of your cassava. To check if the cassava is ready, you're going to use a fork or a knife. Once the fork or knife runs through, the cassava is ready. So I'm going to add in some salt, about a teaspoon of salt to season my cassava. After 20 to 25 minutes, you're going to check if your cassava is ready by inserting a fork. Once the fork runs through, the cassava is ready. Next, you're going to drain off the water. After draining the water, This is how my cassava is looking, and as you can see, it's quite starchy and has a grainy texture. So if you overcook your cassava, it's going to have a gelatin texture to it because the starch is going to convert into gelatin. When the cassava are a little bit cool, I'm going to place my pot over there, and then I'm going to place a frying pan with some cooking oil over medium-high flame. So now I'm going to place my cassava on my chopping board. This is how the cassava is looking like. And actually you can enjoy the cassava at this point because it's already salted, but we are going to be revamping into fries. So I'm going to remove the fibrous core, just like that. Once done, I'm going to be slicing my cassava into fries. So I'm going to use a knife and cut thick slices just like this one. Place aside. To check if the oil is ready, you're going to drop in a piece of cassava. Once you notice bubbling, the oil is hot. So I'm going to carefully place in my cassava into the cooking oil to fry. I'm done slicing the rest of my cassava, and this is a recipe for about 2 to 3 people. So when frying, you're going to be frying for around 2 to 4 minutes, or until you notice a very nice golden brown color on top of your cassava fries. So using a skimmer, I'm going to check on my cassava fries, which are coming along so good. You can see my cassava are getting a very nice golden brown colors. That means that the cassava are ready. So I'm going to drain off the excess oil. Just look at that and listen to that crunch. Yum. And transfer to a paper towel to drain off the excess oil while I place in some more cassava to fry. Immediately the cassava fries are from the oil, I'm going to sprinkle in some salt to season. This is how my cassava fries are looking, and once you snap, the texture in the inside is very nice and soft, and the exterior is very crunchy. I'm done making my cassava fries, so I'm going to shake off the excess oil and place in a paper towel just like the rest. And then I'm going to turn off the heat. Immediately I'm going to sprinkle once more with some salt to season, and wow, this looks incredible. So toss around with the salt a little bit. I've already plated the rest of the cassava fries, so I'm going to add in some more. This is how my cassava fries are looking. They're looking very crispy, and just look at this. I love the golden brown color on my cassava, and the interior is very soft and fluffy.